Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to OKKO Let's Be Heroes, episode 11. So yeah, we're only doing one episode again this week, just because of the time I got started and everything. But luckily, with My Hero Academia ending after the next episode, we should hopefully be able to start doing more episodes after that, since we won't have to do My Hero on Mondays as well. So yeah, that's going to help a lot. We'll see how it goes. We'll see where everything goes, but hopefully we should be able to get to more episodes. Honestly, if I just get off my lazy ass and get to recording earlier, but you know, procrastination. It's kind of hard to do as well with having mind blanking. Having to take care of the live streams on Mondays as well. So yeah, it's a thing with that. But either way, let's talk about today's episode of OKKO. I know nothing. I know nothing about what's going to happen. I know nothing about anything about the future of the show, really. People just aren't talking about it, really. Like, I'll occasionally see a post, like, talking about OKKO. I'll occasionally see someone I subscribe to post maybe a video. I've seen that a couple times. But even with that, like, a lot of the time, it's, like, something I don't watch, so I don't know. Like, there's one video I think Mr. Enter posted. He does these videos called animated atrocities, which are basically episodes or shows or whatnot that are really bad. And he did one on an episode of OKKO, and I didn't watch it, so I don't know exactly what he's talking about with it. I don't even know where in the season that episode is, so I don't even remember what it was called or anything, because I did see the title, presumably the title of the episode in the title of his video, so I don't know. Point is that I don't know what he said because I didn't watch the video. So it's like, and that's pretty much all I ever see of OKKO when someone posts a video like that. No one's posting stuff around Twitter or Facebook or anything. So yeah, it's not like a lot of these shows where I really have to try to avoid spoilers. I just haven't really had that issue come up. Which I'm actually a little disappointed by, because the show is good. It's nothing like Steven Universe or Legend of Korra or MLP or anything, and it's not like it's going to, I don't think it's one of those shows that you really need to avoid spoilers for in the first place. It's not like those shows I mentioned, which are heavily story-based, for the most part. So yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I don't know, it's kind of weird, because I'm almost feeling like I want there to be spoilers posted, because when you have people posting these spoilers and stuff, it means that they're caring about this show, that they're excited to share stuff. And it happens all the time for My Hero Academia. Why can't it happen for this? I'm sorry, I'm just, like, really distracted by my hair. I'm always really distracted by my hair. That's a little better. But yeah, it's just, it's kind of funny in that way. But yeah, I'm excited to see more of this. I hope this is another good episode. We've admittedly had some episodes of the show that weren't as good, that were kind of some duds and everything, but that's to be expected, especially with it being the first season still. But we've also had some really good ones, such as the Dendy episode. So I have high hopes for where this is going to go, but we'll see. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts, and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, one now. I do wish I had more time today to react to more of these, but unfortunately I just don't. This show is just so fun and good. Let's talk about this episode. So we had Wallace Shawn portraying Wally the White, a wizard who is a little bit of an overreactor. Like, yes, Enid was very clearly rude to him. That's not even debatable. But, to be fair, she was in the middle of something when he came in. He could have very easily waited a minute, and she would have been done and been able to help him. Now, honestly, she was more rude to the people who were already there and trying to get help. I think they would have had a better argument to make against her. He overreacted greatly and turned her to stone. Now, it was only a 24-hour spell, so it was only temporary. So, okay, maybe you could just leave it at that. But no, he comes back, turns her to stone again, and tries to kidnap her. Which, just taking it way too far. And KO pursues, Wally goes into Carol's dojo, big mistake, and he ends up being thrown through the wall and then confronted. Enid comes back, kicks his ass, and basically tells him, screw off. So, this episode, while very entertaining, I feel has a slightly poor message to it. Because it's kind of saying, like, okay, the entire idea of not caring what others think of you and just being okay with who you are, that's great. Like, I fully believe that you should believe that. I hold that message to a degree as well. I don't care if other people hate me. I don't care if other people think I'm lazy or think that I'm no good or whatnot. It doesn't fully matter. There are points where I will acknowledge that some things people say or whatnot about me can affect my emotional state. Sure. I mean, and not just for the bad either. Like, people, what they say can definitely affect me in a positive way. Like, whenever someone calls me cute or pretty, it really makes me happy. Like, I've made a joke on Facebook about it, like, being like a drug to me. Because it brings up my mood so much. And while being called ugly doesn't affect me that much, it's weird like that, I guess. But then there's certain things that people can say that does affect me. Like when people call me by my dead name or misgender me. That deeply affects me. And more so when people are doing it on purpose. When someone's doing it because they just don't know, like if I'm out at a store or whatnot, and it's like the person's like, "Have a good day, sir," and it's like something like that, and it's like, okay, that's annoying. That's a little, it gets to me a little bit, but just a very little bit, because they don't know. Or when a family member might do it on accident every now and again. That's okay, it happens. But when someone does it on purpose, that's when it really affects me and really gets me down. It either, depending on the situation, can sometimes anger me, but most of the time it just gets me really depressed, and I tend to kind of shut down a little bit. My father is a huge example of this. He does that often, and not even just straight up doing it to my face, but like, a lot of the times he'll say it like behind my back or when my headphones are on, when he either knows I'm like only barely listening, or even sometimes when he doesn't know if I'm listening or not, he'll just say it because I feel like he is one of those who, like, sometimes is definitely saying it knowing I'm listening, knowing that I'll hear him, and he's doing that on purpose. But there's also sometimes where he'll say it behind my back, but not to my face, you know? Um, but yeah, and then there's other people who have definitely done the same, and it gets really annoying. And words can hurt. Like there used to be that old rhyme. I don't know if you know it, but depends on where you live, I guess. But sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. That's wrong. It's false, and it's honestly damaging to a lot of people. To a very good amount of people, names will hurt. Names will do irreparable damage, mentally and emotionally, especially depending on how bad the teasing gets. There are people who have killed themselves because of bullying that has been verbal alone. Not even physical bullying. Just they've been constantly teased, picked on, called names, misgendered and stuff in some cases. And yeah, it happens to trans people, it happens to non-trans people, it happens all the time. Words can definitely hurt. And the point I'm trying to make with all of this is that you have to be held accountable for what you say and do. Enid here was kind of in the wrong. Yes, again, she was kind of in the middle of something, and Wally could have waited. But she should have at least apologized for it, or even just done something as simple as telling him, just 1 minute, sir. I'll get to you in just a minute. Just want to finish this up first. Something like that. Enid is kind of this bratty teenager in a lot of ways. She definitely is rude in a lot of cases. And there's a lot of times where she has shown to be insensitive to other people's feelings. She kind of has this attitude where, like she said, who cares what other people think of me? But at the same time, she's maybe unintentionally practicing, who cares what other people think of what I do? Because there's a big difference in what I mean here. Because who cares what people think of me? That attitude is more like, okay, so I'm going to live my life the way I like to. And who cares if someone else doesn't like that? And that's fine. But who cares what people think of what I do to them is different. Because if she's doing something negative towards someone, even if unintentionally, and it hurts them, and it's like, no, that's not a good thing. Then that's not something you should just be accepting of. And in the end, it's like it almost kind of painted her as being in the right. And at the end, when she was like calling him all these names and stuff, and she was definitely in the wrong. It's just, I feel like this episode was trying to teach something but kind of failed. Again, it felt like it was trying to teach the idea like, okay, just be cool with who you are and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But instead it was kind of teaching this backwards message of do whatever you want and don't let anybody reprimand you for it. Which is just not a good lesson to learn. Again, there have to be repercussions for doing the wrong thing. I know in our current society, a lot of people do horrible things and don't get punished. I mean, the American Republican government is a huge example of that. But it's just like, you can't just, you have to get punished. You have to get reprimanded if you do wrong, if you legitimately do wrong. And I'm not saying you have to have like any huge punishment, but you should definitely be called out. I think this episode would have worked better if maybe Enid was, maybe the Wally guy, instead of like doing this stone curse thing, maybe he complained to Gar, and Gar was upset that he would potentially lose a customer. So he maybe suspended Enid, put her on a like a couple days suspension, and maybe that got Enid angry, because of course, you know, lack of money, she wouldn't be getting paid for those couple days. So she started hunting down the wizard, and in the end came to realize, maybe through KO, that she was in the wrong the entire time and apologized to him. That would have been a great way to teach the message that you have to be accountable for your actions. Now, as for the message about being yourself and not letting anybody stop you, that's still a great message, but this was just the wrong way to handle it, I feel. You could have done it in so many better ways. Ways that didn't hurt the overall story of the episode. But the episode was still enjoyable as all hell. It was still fun. It was funny. It was entertaining to watch. I enjoyed Carol, as always. I enjoyed Enid. I enjoyed Wallace Shawn just being there, because Wallace Shawn's always awesome. And isn't it raining? I'm not actually sure. But I enjoyed Wallace Shawn being there. If you don't know, by the way, I didn't mention it, but Wallace Shawn is an actor who's famous for a few different roles, but one of his big ones... Oh, it's raining now. I think it was raining, I think we were, on the border of where it was raining, and now it's just hitting right here. Anywho, Wallace Shawn is known for a couple different roles, but one of the big ones is for playing, I think the character's name is Fezzik in The Princess Bride. He's known for the line "Inconceivable." He's this short little mostly bald guy who has this really recognizable voice. But yeah, that was his big thing in The Princess Bride, the "Inconceivable" line. Either way, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode. Did you see the problematic delivery of the lesson that I did, and just the story in general, or do you think I might be overreacting a little? Feel free to tell me. Always feel free to tell me your thoughts on these episodes, no matter if you disagree with me or not, no matter what the situation. Either way, thank you so much for tuning in, and for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles, shed tears along the way, you're still standing, live, love, laugh.